Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Brothers and sisters, welcome to a new live edition of your program Ask Huda. Today happens to be the second day in the new Hijri calendar, the Islamic calendar 1436. And it is typical to have many questions, whether that I received on my page or as a comment on a post that I made or in the emails, or I expect also in the live calls that a lot of callers would be concerned about, number one, the permissibility of celebrating the new Islamic year. Number two, exchanging the congratulating one another for or on the new Hijri year. And is there any difference between celebrating and congratulating? Yes. So let's speak first of all with regards to the origin of this calendar. As I explained before, that it started during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, who initiated upon consulting the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at this time, who initiated the new Islamic calendar based on the great event of the migration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was on the 13th year after Hijrah. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived to Al-Madinah on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, and it was Monday at the forenoon. So basically the month of Muharram was not the month on which the immigration started or even ended. When the Prophet ﷺ entered Al-Madinah, he entered on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, according to the seerah of Ibn Hisham, the great historian. And some others said it was like a couple nights since the beginning of Rabi' al-Awwal. So it was on the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, not Muharram. And when he consulted the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, after they agreed to the event as it should be the beginning of the Islamic calendar, they agreed to appoint the month of Muharram, which is one of the sacred months. In ayah number 34 of Surah At-Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم فلا تظلموا فيهن أنفسكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, since He created the heavens and the earth, the number of months are 12. 4 of the 12 are sacred. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in the sound ahadith, there are 3 consecutive months, which is Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Al-Muharram. Then Rajab Mudar by itself. So these are 4 months which are known as Al-Ashhur al-Hurum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ, that is upright religion, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not wrong yourselves during either the entire 12 months or فِيهِنَّ refers to the 4 sacred months. Because al-ulama, the scholars, agreed that committing a sin during any of the 4 sacred months is a greater crime and a greater sin than committing the same sin during any other time. So these are Al-Ashhur al-Hurum. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named this month Al-Muharram, and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Shahrullahi al-Muharram, to reiterate its sacredness. And as Sahaba agreed, let's make the conclusion of the Hajj, which is the month of Dhul Hijjah, the end of the year, and the beginning of the Islamic calendar will be the month of Muharram, which follows the Hajj season. This is how it all began. So it is not something that started at the time of the Prophet ﷺ or even at the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. This is with regards to the history of the date and how the Islamic calendar started. Then the question with regards to celebration or the congratulation, exchanging the congrats for the beginning of the new Islamic year is to be referred and evaluated against the Islamic juristic rule which says permissibility is the original status of customary practices. This is what His Eminence, may Allah have mercy on him, Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di, stated in this regard. I'm going to quote what he said exactly, but I will translate it. Where he said, there is no need to legally forbid or recommend against specific action or saying, unless there is a religious text that forbids or recommends against the respective action or saying, and unless the respective action or saying is associated with a bad consequence. He said also the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ have established this general rule in many contexts. And he also said and quoted Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and other scholars endorsed this view. Then furthermore he said, may Allah have mercy on him. The question with regards to exchanging the greeting for the beginning of the new Hijrah year is to be evaluated against the just mentioned rule, which is al-aslu fil ashya'i al-ibaha. Permissibility is the original rule concerning customary things and practices, whether actions or sayings. To clarify, he said the practice of exchanging greetings for Islamic New Year, for example, is not intended for worshipping. Rather, it is a customary common practice that does not involve forbidden matters. Yet, such a customary practice may involve good things. One good thing that Muslims exchange nice wishes and mutual prayers on this occasion. When somebody says to another, blessed year, this is an invocation. May Allah make this year a year full of blessings. May Allah forgive the sins of the past year and make the next year full of happiness or blessings. So he said that undergoes the customs, the customary practices. It is not intended to be an act of worship, but it is mere wish or invocation or dua. So if you are offered a greeting on the coming of the Islamic New Year, we believe that you must return the greeting. This is the right thing to do in our view, he said, may Allah have mercy on him. Additionally, failing to return such greeting may create misunderstanding and may be hatred on the part of the one who greeted you. Also, may Allah have mercy on him, he said there is also another rule that you need to take note of. This rule says customary practices may involve good deeds which qualify them for religious recommendations. That is, to make such practice among the deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves most. It all depends on what benefits such practices may bring about. Similarly, some customary practices may involve bad things which qualify them for religious prohibitions. That is, to make such practices among the deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden. There are many examples in this regard. It is very interesting that Sheikh Ibn Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him, wrote a letter to his student who is a great scholar, Ibn Aqil. And he wrote to him, which he tagged his letter with the following line. He said, congratulations on the coming of the Islamic year. May Allah bring it over and over with much goodness, and may Allah always protect us from all that is bad, or all that which is bad. Now let's move to the answer of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on him, who is also one of the students of Shaykh al-Sa'di, whom we just quoted his view earlier. May Allah have mercy on all of them. And Shaykh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen is the one who succeeded Shaykh al-Sa'di in his masjid in teaching and giving the khutbah and attending the halqa after his death. May Allah have mercy on both of them. When he was asked on the ruling on congratulating people on the occasion of the Hijri New Year, he said, if someone offers you the congratulations on the beginning of the Islamic year, then respond to them. But he said, and this is where he differed from his sheikh, he said, but do not initiate such greeting. So he said, I would not initiate it. But if somebody greeted me and said, Happy New Year, Happy New Hijri Year, I would say, same to you. Happy and blessing New Hijri Year to you as well. This is what Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen said, may Allah have mercy on him. Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Khudayr, may Allah have mercy on him, said, concerning offering congratulations on the occasion of the Hijri New Year, praying for another Muslim in general terms, is phrases that are not meant as a kind of ritual on special occasions, such as Eid for instance, is acceptable. So he says, when somebody says Eid Mubarak, when somebody says Friday Mubarak, when somebody says happy or a blessed year, that is perfectly fine as a form of invocation. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. So now, we have the view of Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him, who said it is not considered as a form of worship. It is rather a customary thing. And looking at the practice as whether it's one of the things or one of the acts of worship will determine whether it is an innovation or not. When we have difference of opinion between great scholars, and when one adopts a view, we should respect that. Especially, it is a view that is adopted by such a great scholar, and it is also not just a great scholar, he was the sheikh of these shuyukh, for instance. So you should not say that this is haram and that should not be considered, or you nullify or dismiss the other views. Especially when you know that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on him, said in this regard that if somebody took the initiative and wished you a happy Islamic or Hijri calendar, Hijri year, that you should say the same to him, and you should not turn him down, and you should not ignore his statement. Barakallahu feekum. Now, and since today is the second day of the blessed month of Muharram, and it is also the second day in the new Hijri calendar, 1436. We say that there is no celebration, because we all agree in this regard that the celebrations are relating to the Eids, which the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam prescribed and allowed that we celebrate these days, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So there is no specific celebration. What we discussed earlier was concerning exchanging the greetings and the congratulations. And also to bring to the attention of the youth, whom many of whom do not know what is the Hijri year, and what is the event of the migration, and why was it chosen by the companions to mark the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In a recent program, and it's very available on many websites, on YouTube and otherwise, you can see the host is interviewing college students in some very prestigious universities, Arab, and they're asking the students, the college students, can you name 4 of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ? And they failed. Many examples. And when one managed to say 2 names, they said Abu Bakr and Umar al-Khattab. And somebody said, I like this guy. Whose guy? Umar al-Khattab. They don't even know how to say the name properly. And who's Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu? If a college student born and raised in a Muslim country, and he's a Muslim, and doesn't know the names of 20, 30 or 40 of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, and in their mind, the event of the migration, the pigeons, the laying eggs at the front, the entrance of the cave and the spider web, and طلع البدر علينا, and all of that is not true. Neither the pigeons laid eggs, nor the spider set their web, or the companions received, Al-Ansar received the Prophet ﷺ in Medina by singing and chanting طلع البدر علينا. This is all not true. As a matter of fact, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned how miraculously He supported His Prophet ﷺ in the journey, He said, وَأَيَدَهُ بِجُنُودٍ لَمْ تَرَوْهَا, and He supported him with hosts that you did not see. You could not visualize. Let's take some calls and inshallah we'll resume with this matter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ummu from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Good evening, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening to you, Sister Ummu.
I have 3 questions.
Naam, go ahead.
The first one, the hadith, which the Prophet said that there will be a group of foolish youth among my ummah. I want more explanation on that hadith. And secondly, the dua that the Prophet made, Allahumma munazil al-kitaba sari al-lisan, Allahumma ajim al-azab. In place of that azab, can we put any oppressor here? For example, Allahumma azim Israel army or Israeli government or Zionism.
طيب. Okay. Third question, please.
Is there any tradition or sunnah or hadith of the Prophet on what to do with a dead tree? Dead tree.
The traditions on what 3?
What to do with a dead tree, a shajar, dead tree.
Dead tree.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's all.
Oh, yeah, Sister Ummu, your first question. Sister Ummu, if you're still there, your first question was not clear. Could you please repeat it one more time?
The third one.
The first one, yes.
The fourth one.
Yes, the first question.
The hadith, which the Prophet stated that when the world is coming to an end, there will be a group of foolish young men who will spread corruption in the land. I want more explanation on that hadith.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sister Ummu from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Next. Brother Anis from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hello, Sheikh Salah Nabil.
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Barakallah feek, Brother Anis.
Sheikh, I have a question on question regarding Salah. When I make Isha prayer 4 rakah, I offer 2 rakah sunnah and then 1 witr. Is it acceptable?
Yes, it is perfectly fine if you offer the 2 sunnah after Isha, then you pray the witr. That is perfectly fine if you're not planning on praying any other night prayer. Okay?
Yes, normally the witr is saying to have 2 shafa and one odd.
Okay, the least number of rakahs for which is 1. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, he requires at least 2 rakahs before witr. So, he said you prayed the 2 sunnah of Isha, then soon afterward you prayed the 2 rakahs, so that works out. Okay? His objection is if you single out the night prayer with 1 single rakah, which is the witr by itself, like you pray Isha, then you pray just the witr 1 rakah. But according to the vast majority of the scholars, the least number of rakahs for which is 1 rakah. Barakallah feek, jazakallahu khayran, Brother Anis. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Salma from the USA. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Salma, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh Salah. Alhamdulillah, shukrullah. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. May Allah bless you and your family.
May Allah bless you and your team and your family and everybody.
Ameen, ya
Sheikh
Rab.
Salah, I have a question. I'm in America, and it's really hard to, live in America without the credit card. I don't want to have the credit cards and the interest. But sometimes in some situations, so what should I do? If I have, for some reasons, if I have a credit card or interest thing, how should I deal with that, Sheikh Salah?
طيب.
And barakallahu feekum.
وفيك بارك, Sister Salma. In the States, in Europe, and in many Muslim countries nowadays, it is essential and it is very much needed to have a credit card. And when you have a credit card from the bank, you sign an agreement to pay an interest, should you fail to make the payment on time. Okay? This is the credit card condition. And once you agree to pay interest, then you agree to a riba-based contract, which is haram. But if you live somewhere where you cannot go around without having a credit card, you cannot pay your bills, you cannot book a car, a rental car, you cannot hire a flat, you cannot purchase a ticket online, you cannot fly unless if you pay for your tickets via using the credit card. When you believe that it is imminent, then it will be sufficient to have one credit card. And you do your best to avoid that condition. I mean, make sure that you pay on time or even before the due date in order to avoid that penalty. Barakallah fiki, Sister Salma. I'll go back to Sister Umu from Nigeria, but I want to finish what I started with regards to the sacred month of Muharram. There are many blessings in this month. Number one, it is called Shahrullah al-Muharram. And to ascribe anything to Allah, that gains automatically sacredness and sanctuary. When you say Baytullah, Shahrullah, Baladullah, okay? So it gains a special sacredness. And it is a sacred month. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ذو القعدة وذو الحجة والمحرم ورجب مضر الذي بين جمادى وشعبان. These are الأربعة الحرم, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to them in Surah At-Tawbah in ayah number 36. I believe I mentioned before 34, rather it is ayah number 36. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose this time to make it a special time. Not only that, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the sound hadith, which is collected by Imam Muslim and narrated by Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he quoted النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم as saying, أفضل الصيام بعد رمضان شهر الله المحرم. The best fasting after observing the month of Ramadan's fasting, because it is the fard. So nothing is better than fulfilling the fard as far as the acts of worship. He said the next best is to fast the voluntary fasting during Shahrullah al-Muharram, the blessed month of al-Muharram. And you gotta keep in mind that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam never fasted for a whole month except on the month of Ramadan, which means fast as much as you can on the month of Muharram, but you do not fast the whole month, neither on Muharram or in any other month. So now, inshallah azza jal, we should take advantage of this time and try to fast voluntary fasting as much as you can. We all know that, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the sound hadith that fasting for a single day fi sabilillah takes the person away from the fire of hell the distance of 70 kharif, yani 70 years. I will resume inshallah after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Saifullah from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته الشيخ.
Go ahead, Sister Saifullah.
الحمد لله شيخ.
Go ahead with you.
I have one question.
No.
I'm unable to convince my husband to leave smoking. Pray for him, Sheikh, that he does so, because his health is deteriorating day by day. I just hope he becomes like one of those whom Allah loves.
Yeah,
I'm really worried for him.
sure. May Allah make it easy for him to quit. Allahumma ameen. And there is simply a very, a very easy and certain way to make any person, any smoker, quit, which is to increase his iman, to strengthen the tie between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just imagine a Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam forbade us, if we happen to eat garlic, fresh garlic or onions, he said, do not come to our musalla, because the angels are awfully offended from whatever offends the human beings. And wallahi, if any person happen to smoke and he stands with us in the prayer, he is really offending us. He is offending those who are onto his right and onto his left side because of the awful smell. And we normally, and this is not a joke, we normally say that may Allah have mercy on the spouse of the person who smokes, whether it's he or she, because of the awful smell of the mouth. So simply increase your iman. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your sujood to help you to quit smoking. And it's only a matter of having a strong will and a strong determination. Inshallah, we'll make dua for you and for all Muslims. I hope, inshallah, that we can eliminate this evil from the whole Muslim society. Allahumma ameen. Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates, Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. Sheikh, I wanted to ask a question
Now,
regarding the same month of Muharram.
now,
What should be the stand, what should the view of Al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah regarding the event of Karbala or the Shahadat of Hussain radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu? We have like mixed views, because we get to know from different people. I just wanted to know what should be your standpoint. What should we believe into?
طيب, barakallah
Just put
feek.
some light on this here.
Okay. I'm talking about the virtues of the month of Muharram and what should be doing, inshallah, during the month, and we'll resume afterward. Assalamu alaikum. Mrs. Khan from the case says, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Dr. Saleh, just first, Jazakallahu khair for explaining in detail about the greetings and celebration about Muharram. But my question is that if we are allowed to greet about Muharram, or then we are allowed to greet for Father's Day, Mother's Day, or anniversaries or birthdays, because some people they say that this is not bid'ah because this is not related to the religion, because this is not an innovation in religion, but basically this is a custom.
Nah.
So can you please explain in detail the difference
Sure.
between these two?
Sure. Barakallah feeki. Jazakillahu khair. If you remember what I quoted, that Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him, said, whatever is customary, and it is not ruled out as halal or haram, and it does not contradict the Sharia in any way, then it is permissible. We don't say it's recommended, rather we say it is permissible. For instance, making good wishes and dua for somebody to have a good day. You meet somebody and say, have a good day, sir. Is there anything wrong with that? No. Have a blessed day. Happy time. Good night. That's perfectly fine. Whenever callers say, I greet them and I say, Assalamu alaikum, and say, good evening, sir. What do I say? Good evening to you. Good morning. I say, good morning to you. Okay? إذا حييتم بتحية فحيوا بأحسن منها أو ردوها. But if anything that has a reference that is celebrated or attended by any religion other than Islam, then we have to pause. During this month also, we will experience Halloween. We don't say it's customary. No, that is dismissed because it has an origin with other faith, with other religion that is celebrated by non-Muslims. It have nothing to do with our religion. Similarly, Christmas Eve and New Christian Year and so on. Okay? Barakallah. I hope this answer is sufficient. Inshallah, soon after we take a short break, we will come back to discuss the greatest event in the month of Muharram, inshallah azza, which will be in a few days, inshallah. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Please stay tuned.
Imagine that the Anbiya, they were the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they had the hardest lives.
He assumed that he had some kind of superiority and he was a better, more chosen, better person because he had this wealth. And then you look at all the other people who had wealth, and some of them were the worst people. You had Fir'aun and
Qarun.
Reviving your niyyah time and again, that you're doing it sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Most of the youth, they think, oh, I'm going to pray when I'm old, it's okay, now I'll have fun in my life. Later on I'll work, I'll go on my bed, I'll pray 5 times a day. And all these things, they think that's later on in their life, and they don't know when they will die.
Amira, who's your role model?
Khadija radiallahu anha.
And why?
Because she was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife, and she was the first lady to believe in Islam.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We'll resume what we started before the break with regards to the blessed and the sacred month of Muharram, which happened to be the beginning of the new Hijri calendar, and we mentioned the reason behind that. Now, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, narrated that when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered the city of Al-Madinah, we don't call it Yathrib anymore, by the way. I just saw somebody open a new shop and he said Yathrib for whatever business. And he thought by that he is revering the city of Al-Madinah, or he is blessing his business by calling it Yathrib. Yathrib was the name of Al-Madinah al-Munawwara, or Taiba, or Taba, the city of the Prophet ﷺ before the migration. After the migration, the Nabi ﷺ changed its name. So it is Al-Madinah, or Taiba, or Taba, or Darul Islam, Darul Iman. And he said, if any person happen to call it Yathrib, let him seek forgiveness. He should ask Allah for forgiveness. Okay? Yathrib is from At-Tathrib, which is the blame. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ entered the city of Al-Madinah, رأى اليهود تصوم يوم عاشوراء. He notes that the Jews of Al-Madinah used to fast on the 10th of Muharram, particularly the Jews of Khaybar. فقال ما هذا? He said, what is this? Why do you fast on that day? They said, this is a righteous day. هذا يوم صالح. يوم نجى الله بني إسرائيل وأغرق فرعون وقومه. This is on the day on which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned the Pharaoh and his hosts, and he saved the Israelites, the children of Israel, and Musa alayhi salam. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam looked to his companions and he said, فَأَنَا أَحَقُّ بِمُوسَى مِنْكُمْ فَصَامَهُ وَأَمَرَ بِصِيَامِهِ. The hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari. He said, in fact, we do have more rights with Moses than you guys. So he ordered his companions to fast on the day. And some of the scholars said that was the beginning of the obligatory fasting, the gradual process of the legislation of fasting. Afterward, there came the mandate of fasting during the month of Ramadan, and fasting on the 10th of Ashura became mere recommended. Why is it so important and recommended? And by the way, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not begin fasting on the day when he saw the Jews fasting. As a matter of fact, Aisha radiyallahu anha narrated that not only the Prophet and not only Muslims, but even the Meccans before the migration, the Meccan pagans, some of the Meccans used to fast on that day because of the same reason, because of some of the remains of the Sharia of Ibrahim and Musa and Isa. So they used to fast on that day. and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted on the 10th of Muharram even before the migration. But now he mandated fasting on the day when he arrived to Al-Madinah, when he said, فَأَنَا أَحَقُّ بِمُوسَى مِنْهُمْ. We do have more rights with Moses than them. Then he ordered his companions to fast on the day. Then An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his companions continued fasting on the 10th of Muharram, which is known as Ashura. The word Ashura means from Ashara, bil-mad. When you prolong it, that indicates it is the 10th day. Tasu'a indicates the 9th day. Okay? So he continued fasting even after the mandate of fasting during the month of Ramadan, until he was asked by some of the companions valid questions. Like the sister asked the question before the break. You know, by analogy, then we can say happy birthday, happy anniversary. It's a valid question, you know. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لَإِنْ عِشْتُ مِنْ قَابِلٍ. If I live till next year, لَأَصُومَنَّ التَّاسِعَ. Then I shall fast on the 9th as well. Which means, in order to have different practice than that day, than the practices of the Jews who fasted on the day too, I'm going to fast on the 9th along with the 10th. But the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not make it, and he died before that sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this is sunnatun qawliya, it's a verbal sunnah, even though he didn't get to practice it, but he indicated that this is a sunnah to fast on the 9th along with the 10th, inshaAllah azza jal. I believe the 10th will be on the next Monday, so we fast the day before and we fast Monday. Then also remember to fast on the 13th, 14th and 15th. Also, it is worth of mentioning here that Al-Yahud, the Jews, used to take that day as a Eid day. It was a day of celebration and festivity. But An-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not take it as a Eid day, did not celebrate it. We have our Eids. But he fasted on that day, and he ordered his companions to fast on the day as a mean of gratitude, of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for saving Musa and Bani Israel. Not to celebrate that day and take it as a Eid day. Unfortunately, many Muslims have converted this day into either a day of mourning or a day of celebration. So even newly married couple, those who are engaged, the fiancés, they have to exchange gifts on the day, and they serve a special dish and a special dessert and a special sweet in the name of Ashura. So they call the sweet Ashura. It's a special dessert. That is not permissible. All what the Prophet ﷺ did is he fasted on the day. What is the virtues of fasting on the day of Ashura? And Nabi ﷺ said also in the second hadith, أَحْتَسِبُ عَلَى اللَّهِ, that fasting on the day will expiate the sins of the past year. Subhanallah, how merciful is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The sins of one complete year may be remitted and forgiven simply by fasting on the 10th of Muharram. Why? Because you're giving thanks to Allah for saving one of the prophets of Allah and the believers along with that prophet of Allah, Banu Israel, whom we have enmity with them nowadays and fighting and so on, and ever since the time of the Prophet ﷺ. But we're talking about Musa ﷺ and the believers along with him. So we thank Allah because He saved them. And also because the Nabi ﷺ prescribed fasting on the day and said, fasting on the day will expiate the sins of the entire past year. Keep in mind that any hadith and any virtue that talks about expiation of sins, whether between the two Fridays or simply because of performing Umrah after another Umrah, fasting throughout Ramadan and until next Ramadan, as many hadith talk about that, only refer to the minor sins. And also avoiding the major sins will expiate the minor sins. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, إن تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه نكفر عنكم سيئاتكم وندخلكم مدخلا كريما. If you do avoid the major sins which you have been forbidden against committing, then the virtue of avoiding the major sins, that automatically Allah will forgive your minor sins. So how could a person actually repent from the major sins? By initiating a special tawbah for each particular sin that he is involved in: drinking, adultery, bribery, eating riba. The person must regret and feel remorse and also quit. Then he should make a promise that he would not do the sin again, and then the sin will be forgiven, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
I have 3 questions, please.
Naam.
Which tafsir book of Quran you recommend for beginners? Ibn Kathir or Sheikh Nasir al-Sadi? And second question is,
are you asking me about the preference? Sister Fatima, are you asking me about the preference, or what is your question?
Tafsir. Which tafsir book of Quran you recommend for beginners? Ibn Kathir or Sheikh Nasir al-Sadi?
Okay. Is the tafsir of Sheikh al-Sa'di available in English?
It is available both. Nasir al-Sadi available in English and Urdu both.
Okay. Great. I didn't know that. Okay, fine. Next.
And the second question, I will first ask all the questions. And the second is, do ladies have to pray iqamat for every farz salah? And third question is, best zikr during free time, which one can do?
What was the third question, Sister Fatima?
Huh?
What's your third question?
Third question is, which is the best zikr, which one can do during free time?
Which
zikr.
Which zikr can you do during free time? Okay. Barakallah fiki. Brother Yasser from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead,
How
Brother
are you,
Yasser.
Sheikh?
Naam, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. Jazakallah for taking my call.
Wa jazakum, barakallah feek.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions.
Naam.
The first question is regards to the relationship between a son-in-law and his mother-in-law. Is it compulsory for the mother-in-law to wear her hijab and cover her hair or wear a veil in front of her son-in-law, or is the relationship similar to how the relationship between a son and a mother?
Okay.
I hope you can clarify this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the second question is with regards to the sunnah of the newborn. I have read in a book that it is bid'ah to say the azan in the year of the newborn, whereas this is a common practice and well known in many parts of the world. Could you tell me if this is permissible or not?
Okay.
And lastly, since we have been discussing about greeting people on occasions, is it permissible to say Jummah Mubarak?
Okay. Thank you, Brother Yasser from the KSA. Okay. So inshallah, to wrap up the blessed month of Muharram with the virtues that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instilled in it, I highly recommend for myself, my family, and you brothers and sisters to fast as much as you can, especially nowadays we're getting into winter and the day is kind of short in most countries. So have a much lesser number of hours to fast, voluntary fasting. Do that inshallah. Then on the 10th of Muharram, and don't forget to fast on the 9th along with the 10th inshallah Azza Jal, and 13th, 14th and 15th of the month of Muharram as well. And increase doing good deeds as much as you can, because also in doing the good deeds has a special word during the blessed month, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored certain times over the rest, certain places over the rest, certain people over the rest. He chose in certain things over the rest. So whenever He chooses something, that doing whatever is good or righteous during this time has a greater word, and doing whatever is rated as sin has a greater punishment because of violating the sacredness of the time or the place which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen. Now Sister Ummu from Nigeria. I will investigate the hadith based on the word that you said. I cannot verify it, but inshallah I will investigate it. But I can tell you that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا تقوم الساعة إلا على شرار الخلق. That the last stage of people who will be living right before the establishment of the Day of Judgment will be the worst kind of people. In another hadith he said, إن الله لا يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء. Allah does not withdraw knowledge, particularly the Quran, أو ينتزع القرآن بقبض العلماء. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not withdraw the knowledge by withdrawing the knowledge and the Quran from the hearts of people. Rather, He does withdraw the knowledge by qabd al-ulama, by taking the souls of the scholars and the righteous people. حتى لا يبقى إلا رؤوسا جهالا. إن الله لا يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء. So that only Allah would leave only ignorant people. إن الله لا يقبض العلم انتزاعا ولكن يقبضه بقبض العلماء. So only would remain ignorant heads. They will lead people, but actually they will mislead them. They will be asked and they will fail to give the right answer, and they will give any answer. So they will go astray and they will mislead others as well. This is a sign of the approaching of the Day of Judgment. May Allah protect us all. The dua that you mentioned, Allahumma munazzil al-kitab, mujri al-sahab, ihzim al-ahzab, ihzimhum wa zalzilhum. Even though this dua, the Prophet ﷺ said it on a special occasion, during the Battle of the Confederates, when he said, "Oh Allah, the one who sent down the book, the one who moves the clouds, the one who sends the rain," and he praised Allah by some of his actions, then, and blessings, then he said, "Ihzim al-ahzab," defeat the Confederates, where it was Quraysh, Ghatafan, and their allies of the Jews. He said, "Oh Allah, defeat them by yourself. Ihzimhum wa zalzilhum," defeat them and shake them with a mighty shake. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and they were defeated and they left without being able to enter Medina and without actually fighting against Muslims. Now, can you say this dua whenever you are in need and you have whether an enemy or enemies or oppressors who are oppressing you or oppressing the nation? Yes, you can make this dua. When the Prophet ﷺ utilizes a form of dua at a certain time, whenever it is needed, you can make dua using the same words. And those confederates were not only at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, but as you know that they are existing now. Many countries, many nations, many faiths and religions are allying against Islam and Muslims. So when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support you against the enemies, you can use this dua, of course. I do remember your third question. I cannot even read my own handwriting. It was kind of fast. But inshallah Azza Jal, if I watch the rerun, I will be able to figure it out. Then I will begin the next episode by answering this question, inshallah. Sister Fatima from the KSA asked about the preference Tafsir Ibn Kathir or the blessed Tafsir of Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasr As-Sa'di. May Allah have mercy on all of them. That has a taste and that has a taste, but they're all perfect. If you have time to read in details, then read the abridged tafsir of Ibn Kathir. Okay, and it's available in English, 10 volumes. And if you need to get to the point and deduce lessons without reading many hadith, reasons of revelations and all of that, because Shaykh Sa'd, may Allah have mercy on him, does put benefits and lessons that we learn from each set of ayat, then it will be perfect to do that. So it depends on your goal and also your time. So if your preference is just to learn the tafsir of the ayah and get to the point, then it will be tafsir As-Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him. Quickly, with regards to a dhikr to be recommended The greatest dhikr is كلمة التوحيد لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. But there are many forms of dhikr which are easy to chant, to repeat, such as سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. Especially النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم recommended that to Juwayriya bint al-Harith, may Allah be pleased with her, one of his wives, and it's a very comprehensive dhikr. الباقيات الصالحات, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to in Surah Al-Kahf, والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. The commentators of the Quran said it refers to the particular dhikr of Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, and wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-azim. Bottom line, you alternate. You say this dhikr for a few minutes, then this dhikr for a few minutes, then you make istighfar for a few minutes, tasbih for a few minutes, and so on. We really went over time, so I apologize for not answering Brother Yasser's questions. And Fatima's second question, inshallah Azza Jal, we shall begin next episode by answering them. Until then, brothers and sisters, I leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.